Hello, hello, welcome. It is me, Danielle Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and astrologer, and welcome to this video on the transits of April 2025. This isn't going to be just another astrology forecast, okay? April 2025 has some cosmic turning points, okay? Venus is currently retrograding as I'm filming this. We're going to get some results of that. Neptune has entered the building Aries. Okay. We'll see how that plays out. Also, we have some other powerful transits and we got some T squares coming on. Okay. We also have a minor trine, a grand minor trine. Am I saying that right? Okay. A lot of love, a lot of purpose, a lot of power, a lot of clarity. That's all going to be put on the table. I'm going to explain how this is going to affect you and what you need to know. And this month is going to change a lot of shifts in a major way. So let's get into April's astrology and see how it would change for everyone in the collective and how it would change for you.
3, 2, 1.
I love you.
So first, welcome. If you're listening to this, I am showing the current dates of April. If you want to screenshot this, go ahead. If you understand astrology, screenshotting that will be perfect because this is your astrological calendar. So April 1st, we have Venus is going to conjunct the North Node. On the 3rd, Mercury is going to conjunct the North Node. Mercury is following Venus, okay? It's like, can you do your own thing? No, it can't, okay? April 4th, we have Saturn sextile Uranus. We have Mars trining Saturn and Uranus sextile Mars. We'll get into that. I'll explain that. That's what I was talking about in the intro. April 6th, we have Mars trining Venus. And then on the 7th, we have Mercury is going to station direct in Pisces. We'll talk about that. That is an ingress. Also, we have Venus conjunct Saturn. On the 10th, we have Mercury conjunct the North Node. It's doing that again because it's retrograding. On the 11th, Mars is going to trine the North Node. And then we have on the 16th, Mercury is going to conjunct Neptune. Neptune is in a sign Aries. So they'll both be in Aries. Mars on the 19th is going to trine Neptune. On the 20th, the Sun is going to square Mars. 21st, Saturn conjunct the North Node. A lot of reality, interesting things there, seriousness. Okay, on the 23rd, the Sun is going to square Pluto. Venus is going to conjunct the North Node in a sign Pisces. On the 24th, Venus is then going to conjunct Saturn. And on the 29th, Mars is going to oppose Pluto. Very interesting. Okay. Here are the luminations that we have of the month. We have the full moon in Libra. That's on April 12th. We have a new moon in Taurus. That is on April 27th. The retrogrades in the stations. I said earlier, April 7th, we have Mercury is going to station direct. On April 12th, we have Venus stationing direct, meaning that they will stop retrograding. And on the 26th, we have Mercury post shadow phase is going to end. That means it will fully be out of retrograde. Yay! Everyone will be driving safe, arguments, discussion, emails, shopping. The Venus is still being a the post shadow phase, but it is what it is. I'm just saying the commerce side of that trade. Now we have ingresses. April 15th. That's the day the taxes are due. Mercury is going to enter Aries. On the 17th of April, Mars will enter Leo. On the 19th, the Sun will enter Taurus. And on the 30th, Venus will enter Aries. Okay. So that is what we have as a nutshell. We're going to get into how is this going to look individually, daily, and how is this going to affect us? Okay. How will you be forever changed? Okay. Now, let me see. I'm pulling up my notes. April 1st is when we start this business. Let me see if I can. I'm trying to see if I can see all windows. If all my thing does what it wants to do. I kind of don't know how to work this new video. Okay, here we go. This is interesting. Hold up, wait a minute. Okay, sorry for all that. Now, let me see. We're gonna go to April 1st. Here we go, April 1st. Oh, before I even did that, I should have did. You guys, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, do your due diligence. I know that seems so dry, but I'm so serious. Okay, you guys, this helps me out so much. Okay, I've already got accepted as being a partner. That took forever. I am doing a work. Every time you guys like, every time you view, every time you write a comment, you have no idea how much that helps someone who is doing content, whether you are watching this on YouTube or listening to this via podcast. If you download, if you listen, if you share, that helps so much. And it's free for you to do all those things. So help a sister out. If you love astrology, if you love what I do, if you love tarot, if you're happy that I'm giving you predictions, then please go ahead and do that. Also, I have some free stuff down below. Click the link. I have a newsletter. It is free. The newsletter, I'm going to do this video and then I'm going to quickly hurry up and do the newsletter. I'm going to add some journal prompts on there. I'm going to add some extra stuff too, just for free. Okay. And you guys get all that from moi. Okay. Okay. So back to what we were doing. To the business. Okay, so April 1st is what we have here. And Venus is, we're going to start this month off with Venus being conjunct the North Node. If you see here, they're both at 27 degrees. And Saturn is sitting pretty close here. Mercury is sitting close. So that just basically means that we have a sense of seriousness added to this aspect, responsibilities and reality, okay? Also, there could be a little negativity. I don't want to say a little, but pessimism. It's so hard for me to even say. I'm trying to be so optimistic, but there could be negativity on the first. Also, there is communication and there's something that's redone or resaid added to this. So just be aware of that. The themes of Venus retrograding in Pisces is a revisiting, a redoing, a repeating, because Venus is retrograding. Now, when you're talking about in Pisces, you're talking about past love, art, values, your dreams, once you believed in. There's deep emotional sensitivity. It is a water sign. It's about your self-worth. So like, are you beautiful? Are you creative? What about love? Do you need to reevaluate that? There's fantasies, illusions, there's soul ties because you are talking about relationships and there's healing with that in that Pisces energy or some closure happening with that. Okay. So, and love becomes unconditional because that Pisces doesn't believe in boundaries. Okay. Now, when you have the North Node in Pisces, and that's also retrograding, the nodes always retrograde. So we'll just let that be. But you're talking about collectively, what is collectively our destiny? Okay. Are we surrendering? Are we having spiritual growth? Are we practicing oneness and compassion? Are we releasing and forgiving? And retrograde is always inward energy. It's always reflecting and redoing. That's why the nodes, anything that always retrogrades is such a deep energy to me. Okay. But there's a sense of letting go and letting go of your control and letting go of what is logical and really using divine timing and your intuition. So now these two planets are conjunct, right? So now you can expect to heal some old wounds in relationship, in love, in your self-worth. That's going to happen on the first, okay? And you're going to be really serious. Are you going to add a reality to it? Are you going to put it into words, okay? There's revisiting dreams, artistic visions. You abandon them and now it's time to fulfill them, okay? There could be a spiritual upgrade, maybe a love of spirituality, or maybe a love of charity, okay? Feeling magnetically drawn to someone or something, and it doesn't make any sense. However, this is supposed to help you in your future. That could be happening, okay? A lot of things that are like, seems like coincidences or happens to happen, and it could be dealing with music, poetry, oceans, dreams, lakes, films, photography, spirituality, all that's going to be connected towards your future. Okay. So something for your future, something we're meant to do is supposed to happen. It may be coming as a form of writing or words, or someone might be saying a sweet poem to you. And at the same time, there's a sense of seriousness. Okay. On a negative side, it could be some negative thoughts. And you're talking about your hopes and dreams and something that you're supposed to be pursuing, and a partner or a relationship could be holding you back. Okay. Whenever you have conjunctions, they're strong, but they are also either good or bad, or maybe even both. Okay. We'll see how that plays out. If you want it to be positive, Pisces leans on the not understanding things and having divine timing. Also, the fear of things, let go of the fear and the insecurity, and then it should be positive. Okay. Now we have on the 3rd of April, we have Mercury is now, because it's a follower of Venus, okay, is now conjunct this energy. And remember, all this is kind of the same, right? And Venus is sitting here now, and Saturn is still sitting here. So there could be this burden or heavy duties or heavy responsibilities. There also could be a depression happening here too. That could be happening. On a positive side, it could be like now you have a positive responsibility pertaining to your future, okay? And Mercury is retrograding. So again, you're redoing, repeating. The communication is non-linear because Pisces doesn't like to just be straightforward and make sense. No, it's all about your intuition. It's about symbols. It's about dreams. Maybe the message is coming in a poem or through your emotion or music. Maybe you get a sign from the sky up above, okay? That could be all happening because Mercury is usually like wants to be logical and yes, and now there's fogginess, or maybe the divine downloads are giving you some inspirational flow. All this could be happening, and Mercury is retrograding, so it's redoing, repeating. It says something, it says, never mind, let's take this back, all that. And it could be something that's very psychic or intuitive that could be happening. All this is at the beginning of the month and is connected to our North Node. Again, our soul's compass. What are we meant to do? What are we supposed to do? And this is all about trusting the unseen, forgiving the past, and transcending that ego that you have, letting it go. Okay. So something prophetic could be happening. It could be happening in a dream. Okay. There could be conversations of the past that are coming up, and it's talking about compassion, talking about you letting go your perfectism. Okay. Because the opposite of this is the South Node, and it says to release and let go. And you're releasing things of hard work, of being perfect, of being critical, and you're going into just let it go, let go with the flow, be mutable energy. Okay. So yeah, so miscommunication and tech issues could lead to you slowing down, causing you to like lean into your inner voice. That could be happening. There could be something from your past because we are talking about retrograding, and it could be an old song or like an old film, and all of a sudden hit you in what you're supposed to be doing. Like, I'm an avid reader, so like I was reading a book and I was like, oh my gosh, reading this book made me say like, this is what I was meant to be doing. And this is when the North Node was sitting close to Saturn in the sign Pisces. So, and it was a very poetic book that I was reading actually. But you could be like speaking your truth, because you are talking about Mercury and speaking your truth, and it might be hard, but there's healing, or there's silence, or there's art, or some type of symbolic meaning. Okay. Remember, there's forgiveness here, and maybe there's something that you have to forgive in order to achieve something in the future. Okay. The beginning of the month is very spiritual. Okay. So that is how we're opening it. Some of you guys are like, that doesn't make sense to me. You'll know it when you feel it. Okay. I'm telling you right now. Okay. So now let's get into this minor grand trine here. I want to show this here. And I'm trying to show it without me being in it, but okay. Oh, I can do this. Here we go. Okay, so we have this minor grand trine. Ignore this MC there. I didn't delete the MC in that 10th house. We're going to look at Saturn. Saturn is sitting in the 12th house. We're looking at Uranus is sitting in the 2nd house, and we're looking at the 4th house, and Mars is sitting in that 4th house. Okay, this is making a minor grand trine. Okay, we can call this a talent triangle. Okay, and that is when there's two sextiles together and one trine. That makes a minor grand trine. And the reason why I'm telling you this, because this happens a few times, but I'm telling you this because we have a bigger one coming with bigger planets in around July 9th. Okay. Anyway, but the minor grand trine as a whole indicates a harmonious flow. It's very positive. Okay. There's something that's just going to land on your lap, and God is giving you the energy, and the universe is holding your hand saying like, you can do this now, go and do it. And the other sextiles are like added on bonuses to go do it. Okay. A grand trine generally is like majorly positive. A minor grand trine is positive. However, there is some work you have to do. Okay. Very harmonious energy, and it's about getting stuff done. Okay. So in April 3rd, it's time to get some stuff done. Okay. So let's narrow it down. What are we getting done? Okay. We're talking about Mars is going to trine Saturn. Okay. And I just want you to see that that minor grand trine is a triangle. So I'm going to take that off, and we're going to go back to sharing this chart here. Okay. So this is, let me make sure, April 4th, actually. You could be feeling it early, but you see this minor grand trine with just the planets that I was pointing out earlier. Okay. So now we are going to talk about Mars trining Cancer. Okay. Mars trining Cancer. Mars is about your doing, and now you're achieving stuff, and it's about the long term. There's emotional intuition, there's grounded action, there's structure with innovation, and it's all working together, right? And the Saturn is about responsibilities and discipline. And it's in the sign Pisces. So there's responsibilities in you feeling empathetic about someone, or responsible intuition, or maybe there's a connection between your spiritual and your subconscious. And it's adding some structure to things. Okay. So, like a structured dream, setting boundaries spiritually, okay, and or emotionally. All this is going to either happen, or one of these things are going to happen. And now you're taking responsibility even for the collective, because Pisces represents collective energy. Let me see what I have for as hold up. I have some comments here. Comments. Here we go. Conjunctions. My sun is at 26 degrees of Pisces, and my Mercury is at 4 degrees. Then my moon is at 21 in Virgo. Hello, Shaylee. Yes, 26 degrees in Pisces. You're feeling this more stronger than a lot of people. For real. And then also too, you have that Aries energy, and then it's all gonna come in Aries. You've been very busy, sweetie. And let me see what else we have. Chiron at 28 degrees of Taurus, and Uranus. All the planets are hitting you. So you're living a lot of things. This is a big pivotal year for you. Let me see what else did it say. And then Mars is at 26 degrees of Scorpio. Okay, so but you're having a big energy here, because you have that Taurus energy. So there's a lot of healing and some unexpected prizes coming your way. Could be good or bad, but it's very strong for you. And then also to that Pisces energy that you said, you said hello, yes, OMG. Now you said earlier too, you said the conjunctions, and for you guys listening, someone's commenting, Shaylee is commenting, and I'm looking at it. You have your sun. Your sun is your life, and it's your vital energy, it's your vitality, it's the higher octave of Mars, right? You probably know all this because you know your chart very well. But it's also how you pursue things. It also could be dealing with fathers. It also is giving light to things that are in the darkness, especially in that Pisces. So it could be having some light in some insecurities, having some light in some fears. There could be a strong spiritual aspect happening because you have Saturn in that Pisces energy. I love talking to people one-on-one about astrology. I mean, it's like talking to a newborn child, talking about a newborn child to them. But what I can say for you is that there's something in your destiny that is really big that is happening for you this year, and during Pisces season especially. And then when these planets move to Aries, and because you have Mercury in Aries, there's a lot of strongness in something starting new in regarding to how you communicate and how you come across to others and how you think. So let's see what that rebirth happens. Now, Neptune is going to be hitting 4 degrees, right? 4 degrees is also a Cancer degree. So that's more like home or something of your past. But Neptune is going to be creeping up closely to that. It's already very close, but it's going to happen. When that happens, you could be like when you're speaking, people probably won't be hearing you. My twin brother, I have a twin brother, and he always like, something's off with my throat chakra because people are not listening to me. You're going to probably feel that way. At the same time, there could be this divine energy, this psychic downloads that you're going to be having that's very powerful, and it might be new to you. Okay. It is a great time to let me see. Let me see. I think so. I also have Jupiter on my MC and my North Node, which opposes my Uranus. Okay. And then I would love to get a reading. Go ahead, book a reading, Shaylee. I just love talking about astrology. Also, too, you can join my group. It's $4.99 a month. It's cheaper. And you can just go ahead and ask questions about your chart anytime on there if you want to as well. But go ahead, do as you please. Of course, book a reading. But I love talking about astrology. You can even join the live and ask your questions if you want something more predictive. Yes, but thank you for commenting. And this will be very interesting for you. Please let us know as we continue how this goes on, especially with that Neptune going to be conjunct your Mercury. A lot of feisty energy, but something in a secret, something in the dark, but something very intuitive, or a lot of compassion happening to you when you speak. Like if you're a poet or something, or very creative with your writing, that could be happening as well. Okay. Okay. So back to the collective. Let me go back to my notes here and see what we have here. Let me see. And the eclipses. Yes, a lot of energy with the eclipse coming up. Oh my gosh, with the North Node in Pisces, a lot of Pisces eclipse, and also too Virgo eclipse. Eclipse season was going to be really big for you as well too. But you already had that going on, but now it's going into it. Well, it was in Aries, and now it's going into Pisces. So yeah, you have it. You're getting used to this though. All right. But life is about ups and downs. That is something that is very consistent. Okay, so back to this minor grand trine, you guys. Okay, so we have Mars, and Mars is going to trine Saturn here, right? That's a water trine. So you're talking about a lot of spirituality, a lot of emotions. Okay, there's controlled strategic action. There's power that goes the distance. Your energy now has a purpose. You have a drive and a goal with a purpose. Okay, it connects to being assertive, connected with your emotional energy. There's discipline and spiritual energy happening at the same time. Okay, very harmonious. This is a positive one. This is at 120 degrees. This is the most positive. This is going to land on your lap, right? So someone, you're just going to be walking around one day, and one day on April 4th, or around that, someone's going to come to you, and these things, they're going to be like, it's time to be serious about your emotions. Or, you know what, let's be responsible when it comes to your psychic intuitive energy, right? That's going to be happening. Okay, it provides a smooth flow of energy where emotion, needs, and protective instincts, that Mars in Cancer, are supported with discipline and awareness and reality. It's very positive, because the one thing about water is it's so loosey goosey, that it needs that strong grounding energy, and that Saturn is going to come and help it become reality. Right now, not only does that trine happen, but then you also have Saturn, and it's going to sextile Uranus. So you're talking about like building some traditional traditions, or something of structure with innovative energy, or something that's very rebellious. So maybe it's like a stable rebellion, right? Also, you have the sensitivity of Saturn, the discipline, sensitive energy, and the spirituality of the Pisces. And now it's with that grounded, practical, rebellious, or innovative, something new that could be happening long term. That is what we can explain that as. Okay, let me see. There's an opportunity to bring spiritual and imaginative visions into practical reality. Again, your dreams could be coming true on with this grand minor trine. Now also, Uranus at the same time is going to sextile Mars. Okay, so this is a lot of positivity with the vibe in the sky. April 4th. So around April, at the beginning of April, there's a lot of spiritual aspects happening, a lot of intuitive downloads happening for a lot of people as a collective. And then on top of that, you have this something unexpected, a great surprise, and something with your drive really working for you. So this Mars in Cancer, right? Mars is bold, there's bravery, there's action, and it's adding some toward change, because now it's sextile Uranus. So it's energized breakthroughs. Okay. And it's something that you're very comfortable with, something that's from your past, and now there's something new, and it's going to bring stability, or some self-worth. All that is working together. It is great. It says here, act on your emotional instincts. That's that Mars in Cancer. Structure your dreams. That's that Saturn in Pisces. And innovate your reality. That is that Uranus in Taurus. Okay, very positive. You could be launching something that's new and creative, like maybe a spiritual business, or maybe there's emotional intelligence and it's staying with some long lasting power. There could be something like fight for the people, revolutionary kind of things, and it could be dealing with your finances, your something healing, because and something with your body, because that Mars is also a physical energy, and also too Taurus is like what your body, what you seem valuable, your self-worth. Okay, also too blending of ancient wisdom with future forward technology. Let's see what the AI produces here. An intuitive action. Okay, that could be happening. Yeah, but it's very harmonious. There's progress, there's spiritual grounding, there's discipline, action, and potential for manifestation. Now I want you to understand that this aspect, not this particular one, but there is something just like this. So that's why I'm pre-explaining it to you. Okay, July 9th, we're going to have something that we have not experienced. Okay. So a lot of astrologers are trying to see what's going to happen. Is very positive. But now it's going to be this grand minor trine is going to be with bigger planets. Okay. And currently, what I was showing you is that these are with smaller planets. So you have Mars entering a building, but you still have Uranus and Saturn. Now, when Uranus goes into Gemini, you're going to have this. This is going to be around July 9th. So you can look at this around July 1st all the way, right? And so Uranus is going to trine Pluto. These are big planets, okay? And Pluto is going to sextile Saturn. Okay, this is like crazy. Not only is it going to sextile Saturn, Saturn will be here, but it'll also be sextiling Neptune. So this is a lot of energy that we're going to have, and I'm excited to see it. And Uranus will be sextile Saturn. So Uranus will be here, and Uranus will be sextiling Saturn and Neptune too. A lot of big planets are going to be happening. Let's see what this is going to be. I'm excited to see. I will go into that, but I have so many notes. Let me see if I can say in a nutshell. It could be like evolutionary thought, something with technology, because Uranus represents technology. So maybe there's like structure with spiritual action. I just think there's something with spirituality and technology around the ninth. Okay. Also, it could be like rewriting your future. That could be happening. But this represents intensity. This represents a mystery. This represents transformation and psychological healing. Okay. And now you have Saturn and Neptune, and it represents spirituality, boundaries, limits, long time goals, and there's unexpected surprises. Also, this represents the future and technology. Okay. We'll get into that more in July, but I'm telling you right now, you heard it here first. Okay. If you haven't, I've actually discussed this in my Neptune entering Aries already, and I've discussed some predictions with that. Also, too, I just wanted to say that I need to revisit my predictions because I just spit them out, and I don't think the audience or you guys are aware of how many predictions I've said that have actually come true. Okay. And we're not talking about like me just like downloads or like spiritual just predictions. I'm talking about me just translating the stars. Okay, me just translating astrology. I've well, most currently is the one about a lot of athletes and a lot of confrontations. You get that when you have Aries, and just a few things I saw in the news, but a lot of arguments and confrontations. That is what you get just with the Aries energy alone, right? So if you have seen people who are fighting out of the blue, that is that Aries energy. I've explained that several times. So that's one. Two, oh, I see. Shirley says, you go, girl. You are, well, let me see. I can't read it because my thing is okay. You are psychic AF also. Direct link you have 100%. But I just don't want people to think that I want them to understand that there's also factual evidence backing it up. I know a lot of people don't believe in astrology, but it is actually factual. Okay. So between the two, yes, 100%. I do believe in both. It's definitely. Now, with that said, I want to say that so I talked about the arguments and the fights, and I've been seeing a lot of arguments and fights happening. I also talk about leaks and secrets being revealed, and that is what we have with that Pisces energy. And then we also have like that JD, and they're talking about war. I've talked about war too, predictions of war. I've talked about that. You don't have to be a psychic or know astrology to know that war is coming. So there is that. But also something that I said, and I just recently saw this in the news, is that I talked about Neptune entering Aries. Hunter, can you turn the heater off? I talked about Neptune entering Aries, and I said that they are going to something with photo IDs, because the Aries represents the face in your head or your physical body. And I said that they're going to do something with photo IDs and make it a requirement of some sort. And I just saw in the news that as of May 7th, if you're in America, to fly domestically, you have to have the real ID, which is so funny. Real ID. What is the ID that we currently have? I keep telling all my friends, like, is the current ID I have now is fake. But I did say that. So I just want you to understand, I'm going to revisit some of my predictions and bring them back on the table so you guys can know. But if you really want to know the predictions, look at my 2025 playlist. I have that available for you guys. Anyway, okay, so April 2nd, we'll get back into the schedule of things. Mars is going to trine Venus at 25 degrees. 25 degrees is the Aries. So something new, something starting. It could be something about yourself or your drive, right? Mars is motivated by emotional security because it's in Cancer. So there's something about your home. There's something about being loyal. It's about your drive, your energy, your action. And then it's all motivated by your emotions in your home and your family and security. Now, Venus retrograding in Pisces is all about your love and beauty and what you value. And it's more internal. Are there something repeated about that? Are you evaluating a relationship? Also, some past lovers can be coming from your past. That could be happening. And when you have this trine, it's very positive. Now it's water and water. It's a water trine. So there could be something that's very psychic or emotional, right? And it's inspiring you towards love and dream, and a person of the past could be coming. This also could be a very creative aspect that could be happening for us as a collective, passionate and enthusiastic energy for life, emotional warmth and vitality, craving some fun and enjoyment. You're very self-assured. There's confidence here. There could be some themes of sexual attraction because that Mars has that little spark, and then the Venus is like, ooh, beautiful. I love it, right? You could be perky, feisty, very passionate as well. Let me see what else I have. A natural connection between nurturing actions and compassionate feelings, an ease of understanding and supporting of loved ones. I see that really being big. That this water energy is very compassionate, and then you have the nurturing aspect added to it. So I just see a lot of people having support when it comes to any type of problem, or when it comes to their friendship, or when it comes to dealing with a male or dealing with their aggression. Someone could be very compassionate and supportive for you, but very creative energy. So if you're someone who's into art or creating at all, this could be happening. Now, balancing your hormones, balancing your inner peace, that is going to be big, and a lot of emotions involved, but more positive and happiness. Okay, so a creative project could be happening, and it could be something that you didn't finish from a past. If you had a creative block, this should be helping you around that time. Okay, healing conversations, dreams of love and art or spiritual union. Maybe you're at an art gallery and you're really loving it and you're pursuing something there. Emotional and sensual connection also. Okay, now Saturn is still sitting very close. Look at it, it's even at 25 degrees there. So there's something that it could be like a committed relationship added to this, or maybe someone who is a mentor and you guys are having a stronger bond, because it's not just a love relationship. It could be a love, not like a physical love, but like a love as in a partnership, or a mentor. Okay, or maybe there's a working partnership that's working really good. Yeah, also it's a gift of craftsmanship as well. There's this yin and yang energy balancing here, because you're talking about the female and the male. I want to bring that up, and that's working together. Could be an imbalance, but the imbalance is working. Okay, yeah, what else do we have? Now this could be a conflict of relationships, or maybe this code relationship is going to cause you to drive and get support somehow. Okay, because this energy here could be negative. However, your drive and your motivation is positive. Okay, so that works out. Now on the 7th, we have some more clearing up here. And on the 7th, we have Mercury is now direct. It's not retrograding. You see, it's not red, right? So now it's a leader. Now it doesn't want to follow Venus anymore. It says, no, you know what, Venus, I want to leave this party. Okay. Mercury does move fast. And Mercury is about our natural logic, it's about precision. And in that Pisces, you're talking about dreams and symbols and emotions. And a retrograde is reviewing. Now it's not. It is like, I don't want to review anymore, even though it has to finish coming back in Aries, because that's when it started. So when it completely gets out, we'll talk about when that happens, then it's fully out of this repeating step. But now the clarity is lifted. Now the confusion is lifted. Now the dreams are now doing some data downloads for us. There's creative flow that's returning, and there's emotional honesty. Okay. And when you have the post retrograde energy, right? I want everyone to focus on apology. Everyone needs to say sorry. Everyone needs to release. Everyone needs to work on their intuition and their compassion and have soulful communications. Okay. Focus on your vulnerability and your intuitive downloads and secrets. What are you holding back that's making you insecure? And there's secrets, or there's fogginess in that. Clear the dust. Okay. Have an emotional cleanse. All right. Tips that you can have with this Mercury being in a post shadow phase, retrograde shadow phase, is reopen some creativity projects that you weren't finished. Do that. Gently resolve some miscommunications. Watch for divine timing, because now divine timing is working with your logic. It's working with how you think. It's working with how you organize and process information. Driving. Have some compassion when you're traveling on your day-to-day driving. Okay. Now, also to this day, again, I talked about that Saturn sitting close to Venus, and that's conjunct. And when you have this, it's like, do you still believe in fantasy? Well, if you do, are you outgrowing it? What is the reality of it? What is your love? What is your dream? What is your art? Are you committed to it for the long haul? Saturn is going to ask these questions. Saturn is like, do you value your money? Because Venus is all about the finances, child. This is also like a really serious party. Like you're going to a party and now all of a sudden just got serious. It's like, oh, I thought we were gonna have fun. And they're like, no, 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 no. This is a serious energy, okay? This also could be negative when it comes to relationships as well. Where are you giving too much of yourself without it being reciprocal? Is there balance? Is there harmony? Also, too, this could be something dealing with law, because Venus does represent law. I do want you to understand it is the court of justice, and now there is limitations on that. Okay, if it's real, you'll do the work. If it's not, it will dissolve. Definitely in that Pisces, Saturn believes in karma. Okay. So karma basically with Saturn represents like, did you do the work in a long call? Because if you did, you will get the rewards. Then this conjunction is going to work really good for you. But if you didn't, now this conjunction is very negative. This partner, because that's what Venus will represent, a woman or a partner or your harmony, is now is at its imbalance. It's not working. There's arguments or there's secrets because you didn't put in good karma. Okay. So that could be happening. It's about quality time, serious social gatherings. I said feelings of responsibility are like, you know what? It's time to be committed. You guys could be discussing being serious in a relationship. Financial or relationship is a reality. Now it's hitting hard. That could be happening for you. You realize you've been overgiving or self sacrificing, and Saturn demands a balance of harmony. Okay. This could be some testing some relationships. Okay. I'm not here for the games, you guys, though. So don't be doing that. If you are questioning something, communicate and say it. Who wants to play games? Okay. I'm too old for that. So I guess that's why I'm taking that personal. Also, this could be social burdens or responsibilities because it is very serious and wants to put seriousness into you. You could be feeling lonely in regards to relationships, especially with that Pisces energy. This could be a fear of reaching out. This could be doubt of like, am I attractive? I don't know if I'm attractive. Okay. Yeah, makes me think of a lot with astrology. I always think of astrology. So like the Lover's card, the Devil card, the Justice card, all that. And then too, you have the World card. All that represents Saturn and love and Venus. And so you're talking about your karmic and your choices with O loves. You're talking about soul contracts and emotional entanglements. You're talking about responsibility. Are you accountable? Is there a balance? Is there harmony? And then there's something at an end, something of a long cycle that could be closing. Because remember, these are all at the end of the degrees of Pisces. So it's closing something out. Okay. And you have to hurry up and get some balance off for it to shut down, for it to end. Okay. And release and forgive. That's really the point of all this while this is at the end here. Okay. Now we're going to go to April 10th. Okay, and I'll try to move faster and not be as wordy. Now, this is going to be the second time because Mercury was retrograding. So remember at the beginning, Mercury was conjunct the North Node. Now it's conjunct again. So there's something again hitting your head again saying, nope, you didn't do it right the first time. Now, the second time, you're going to get it right. You're off the fog. This is what you're supposed to do with your alignment. This is what you're meant to do in this lifetime as a collective and as a group, right? As a collective or as a group. No, my notes is so annoying. It's just doing what it wants to do. Let me see. We are on April 10th. Okay. Not as an individual and as a collective. Okay. So there's something like a soul alignment, and maybe there's a message come your way, and there's clarity now because Mercury is not retrograding. So it's like your dream or a conversation or a message is coming your way, and now it's like this is what you're supposed to do spiritually. This is what you're supposed to do emotionally. This is what you were supposed to do. This is a divine timing for all that. Okay. So there's more clarity with that. And then April 11th, we have okay. I was like, wait, what am I saying? Okay, April 11th, we have Mars now, and now that's trining the North Node. And there's still communication here, and there's a sense of seriousness, and there needs to be some balance here. Okay, all that is added to it: communication, travel, reality, long term goals, relationships, partnerships, maybe even some finances. Okay, and now Mars is there, and Mars is the planet of pushing and doing, but now it's like, I don't want to push, I want to protect. I want to talk about my emotions. I want to talk about my instincts. I'm loyal here. There's some loyalty. I'm going off of my empathy and my emotions stronger than ever. It's like the water warrior, okay? Warrior of the water, of the emotions, okay? It's soft on the outside, but it's fierce and there's some purpose here, okay? Now, when you have this trine, very positive, you're taking intuitive action towards your dreams or protecting your family or protecting your home. There's something with ancestral healing that could be happening here. There's emotional confidence to move forward. And it's very serious and it's thinking about the long term, okay? You're being called into sacred service, even if it's quiet, gentle, and behind the scenes. Pisces does represent that behind the scenes. Anyone has some strong 12th house placements, or Neptune is by it, or Pisces is involved. It's behind the scenes. People can't see you, but there's an energy of feeling, okay? So you may feel an urge to act, but it comes from your gut or your intuition and not from your head. You finally make the move towards a dream, not aggressively, but you're devoted and you're responsible with it and you're thinking long term, okay? A past emotional wound turns into fuel and your purpose. Okay, that Mars and that Pisces energy is the healer and the energy coming together. I love water energy, you guys. I love it. I have a whole video on water alone. Go ahead and check that out. It's under my playlist called Elements. I need to do the other elements because they're all very important. Yes, anyway, so let's go into April 12th. April 12th, we have a full moon. Let me actually go to the full moon. April 12th. No, actually, I'm just going to show it here. We're just going to show it here, April 12th, and we're going to just move the hours because I don't want to keep changing it. So April 12th, it is going to be exactly at 23 degrees in Libra. There we go. There is the full moon. Okay. 23 degrees is an Aquarius degree. So when you have this full moon happening, and my notes just moved on its own again. Oh my gosh. Um, First of all, anytime you have a full moon in Libra, it's all about your harmony and balance, right? It's at 23 degrees and that's in Aquarius. So there could be like, I need balance and harmony and I need a divorce. Okay. Aquarius wants its freedom. So that could be happening. That could be, if you are at its edge, there could be a separation happening here. There could be something that's very surprising, something dealing with high places, or something with technology or new technology, something that's very rebellious, and something that's dealing with organizations and friends and networking. Now, at the same time, do you see this full moon here? And if you look here, there is Mars. It is at a T square. Okay, so this full moon is not only just going to be emotional, but it's going to have some challenges, and a lesson is going to be here. Mars, the ruler of Mars currently, is the moon. So there's something really big with relationships that's going to happen, or a partnership, or your harmony that's really serious. Mars feels emotional here. So you fighting in your drive, you may be crying. If you're not a crier, this full moon may be causing you some crying. Okay. This is really going to affect all of my cardinal signs. Okay. So the Capricorns, the Libras, the Aries, the Cancers, all of you guys might be feeling this more than ever. And again, my notes, I think because I have such a small window. Let me see what else we have with this full moon in Libra. I didn't talk about the T square. Okay, so the T square is going to either make you moody or defensive, make you feel like you've been manipulated or triggered, make you feel like you have to protect your family or your home life or your mom or something with your mom. You're talking about your family and your home life versus the self, or someone being selfish, that ego being selfish, and versus some harmony and balance or law or partnership or loved ones. All that could be the thing. Partnerships feeling emotionally charged, especially if one person is suppressing their needs needs to compromise for others. That could definitely happen. A lot of passive aggressiveness when you're dealing with Libra. I cannot stand it. Okay. I want clear conversations, but it could be passive aggressive. There could be some emotional manipulations. Our caretaking. That could be an issue because that Cancer wants to be nurturing and caretaking, and that could be causing a problem. Okay. Let me see. Codependency, patterns, emotional avoidance. And it could be something of the heart, something from the past, something dealing with mom. But anytime you have a full moon in Libra, it's me versus you. It's me versus we. Okay. Like I want to do me, and emotionally, I want us to be in a relationship, but the ego is saying to be on my own. There is this tug of war between the two, but the most important to this is the drive right here. Okay. I do want you to know that it highlights imbalances in relationships. So get ready for that. Conscious compromise could be happening, can bring clarity about connection. Is this healthy? Is this mutual? Is this aligned, or is it not? Also, too, Libra is the justice. Okay. So there could be some karmic energy coming your way. What's fair? What's honest, what's true. Also, again, legal system, beauty and harmony. Libra involves all that, and grace. Be ready for that, like a gorgeous woman who has all the aesthetics and grace, and she's very selfish. And you're like, I thought you were beautiful, but you're really selfish. But it's dealing with the moon sign, so it could be something more emotional happening too. So unique distinctiveness, unlimited potential, and this is the Sabian symbol. So this is the Sabian symbol of the full moon in Libra, and it is a butterfly with a third wing on its left side. And basically, to just say this in a nutshell, this is about being unique. So there's something unique, and it seems abnormal, like, oh, this is different. A butterfly with three wings, like, but if you tap into its potential, it's very positive, and that can help you during that full moon. We'll get into that a little bit later as we continue the full moon weekly. I discuss it weekly. Let me see if there's anything else that I have. I have a lot of notes, but I have to condense it. Okay, so now we are going to April 15th, and that is when Mercury enters Aries. Okay. Once Mercury enters Aries, once all these planets enters Aries, they're going to be in relationship to Neptune. So just know that is happening. Also, too, before Mercury enters Aries, it's going to be at 29 degrees Pisces. That's around April 15th. So April 14th, 15th, there's an urgency to close things out. There's an urgency to intuitively or compassionately do something. So something with charities, and they're like, hurry up, answer this email because we got to hurry up. It's leaving Pisces. Now, the collective in the world, they don't know astrology, right? So they don't understand, like, why are you being so urgent? We know why they're being urgent. It's because Mercury is leaving Pisces, and they're like, we got to hurry up and finish this. So you may get like an email or a text message or a conversation, and they're like, hurry up because we have to close things out, and there needs to be a forgiveness. It's almost like someone's rushing to say sorry. That kind of energy could be happening anyway. But on the 15th, early in the 15th, because this is around 5 p.m. on the 16th, but on the 15th, we do have Mercury entering Aries. Okay. And Mercury, if you don't know, it's about your day-to-day travel. Why is my notes? I want to take the and throw it. Anyway, but Mercury is the planet of communication. It's about thinking. It's about processing information. It is how you learn. It is how you teach. It is how you write. This is how you speak. There is a curiosity. There's a lot of questions. There is siblings, your community, early education. This is your day-to-day travel. This is short distance travel. Okay. If you take an airplane, you live in LA and you're going to San Diego, that can be involving Mercury too. A lot of technology, a lot of social media, a lot of messages. Is dealing with memory and logic and commerce and trade, right? Now, when you have Aries, right? Aries is about your action. It's about your initiative. It's about courage. It's about, why is my notes not moving? Freaking A. I think I just have to just move this like this. This is annoying. You guys don't know what I'm talking about. But anyway, it's about your action. It's about Aries. It's about your action. It's about being courageous, brave, independent, assertive, impulsive, something new. You're the leader. It's about the self. You're the trailblazer. You're very passionate. You're driven. There's a lot of competition. Aries, again, makes me think of all the athletes. Okay. Speaking of, I told you George Foreman passed away. That is very Aries in that Aries eclipse too. Physicality, movement, and self-identity. Now, when you have Mercury, of all the things I said Mercury, and then you have Aries, all the things I said Aries, and we put them together. Also, too, Aries is about war. Okay, so all these planets moving into Aries. Remember, war, conflict and fight. Anyway, but Mercury in Aries, you're gonna have a lot of fast talking, a quick thinker, someone who's very direct in communication. You're gonna get that email, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, they're not beating around the bush, are they?" There's also mental courage. Whistleblowers kind of come out around the Aries because they're, I'm not afraid to speak. There could be some debates happening because the conflict is there when it comes into Aries. Impulsive speech, quick decisions, independent ideas, motivational voice, short fuse in conversation, mental leadership. Okay. Now, predictions while Mercury is in Aries. And as we break this down during the week, I will talk about all the transits of Mercury and explain how that would really affect everyone. But some predictions I have just for Mercury and how it would affect you and the collective is that you may be speaking your truth. You may be loud without an apology. Like, I'm not saying sorry. It makes me think of Omarion. He was singing. He has to have some Aries aspects, and he's telling the audience to get up. Get up. He doesn't want them sitting down while they're at a concert. That just happened, right? And you just had Nia Long, the actress, get mad at Sherry Shepherd. There's a conflict there. That's because that Aries energy is not afraid to speak up. So you have these incidents happening. But again, a text message or an email, it flies fast. You reply fast. You want to move fast. Also, there's an energy of being impatient. Aries is like, I don't have the patience for this. Hurry up. That is happening. You may be more likely to say yes before even thinking. Okay. So someone asks you a question. Do you want to go and deep dive in the ocean? I don't know, something very scary. What is it called when you jump off the roof? I can't think of it. But do you want to do that? And you just go yes, not even realizing what you just said yes to. Get super clear about what you want. You're going to start asking for it because you're going to be brave, and you're going to start doing new things and thinking of new ideas. Sharp ideas come fast. Less patience in conversations, what I said. If you're having a debate, you're going to want to win. Mercury in Aries wants to win the conversation. Okay. Like, no, I got to beat you. I got to win. Not necessarily having the last word, because Aries wants to be first. I said Mercury. Yeah, Mercury in Aries. Aries wants to be first. So not necessarily having, hold on. What are you doing? Oh, that's your heated pad. Okay. Not necessarily having the last word, but wanting to be first to sign up, or just wanting to win an argument or debate. You might be defending your opinions very fiercely and break through ideas and self-expression. I actually like Mercury in Aries because people are a little bit more honest. Okay. So when they're saying things, they're not hesitated to hurt your feelings. And I know, I'm an emotional creature. However, I want to hear the truth. I want to hear the realness. So especially if there's a group dynamic and everyone is appropriate, and there's a question asked, people are not scared to say that, no, I don't want to do that. They're really speaking their truth. Okay. Now, globally, okay, we could have a lot of opinions on live, a lot of impulsivity on Instagram Live, on TikTok Live. Let's see how that plays out. People being really brave and saying some new things on social media. Global leaders. Aries is very much about the leaders. Okay. So the presidents, the vice presidents, the senates, all the people who are in charge and the boss, influencers, they could be making some very impulsive decisions without talking to their PR. Okay. Because they don't have the patience for that. A lot of confrontations that could be spiking, faster news cycles, breaking news coming faster. Mercury does represent the news, so it's like whoa, and it could be a little overwhelming, especially with Jupiter in the sign Gemini, and now Mercury's in Aries. A lot of fast energy and could be very overwhelming. We could probably see a lot of startup companies and entrepreneurs. They're dropping new ideas, they're dropping new launches, they're dropping new technology. Again, I said the athletes. Whoever's the warriors, so our army and military, that could be brought back up onto the headlines more than ever. It could be a reckless activity. If you know anyone who has strong Aries, if you know anyone that has Mars in the first house, they move really fast. And so they're not thinking. So again, not thinking and speaking, and we'll probably see that a lot publicly. Okay. Collective conversations will shift on, what are you going to do about it? Well, what you going to do about it? I'm laughing because it's such an Aries thing, because it's so confrontational. Those fire signs, boy. Anyway, but media and marketing campaigns could get edgier and more aggressive, and more inspiration too. That Aries energy is so inspirational. So a lot of inspirational things and doing it for yourself, and yes, starting something new. We also have that now. Mercury, again, remember I told you all the planets that are going to enter Aries is going to have some business to deal with Neptune. Okay. We have not experienced this. Okay. Neptune is in Aries. This is new for a lot of us. And Aries is new energy anyway. So you got that Mercury. It's very fast. It's very direct. It's very impulsive. There's blunt communication. There's bold opinions. There's mental courage. There's some fresh new ideas coming up, and people are speaking from their gut. Okay. Now, Neptune in Aries, which I haven't talked in this video, but I've talked about it 1,000 times, it's a visionary, but it's a warrior. So the visionary warrior, okay? It's the mystic leader. It's the inspired action from your soul. There's confusion and illusion when it comes to your identity and yourself and your bravery, okay? Yes, but there's a spiritualized ego. Spiritualized ego. Okay. So what can we have with this? This could be spiritual courage. People could be very like the psychic. If you had psychic intuitions and they're new to you, that could be happening. Are people being really bold with their psychic their psychic downloads? Okay. Yeah, there's could be some messages coming your way. A new leader, maybe a new spiritual leader will be coming out. Okay. There could be distorted speech. There could be deception in regards to war. Okay. The government could be lying about what is going to happen with war. That could be happening. Yes, maybe you're having some divine inspiration and it's very fiery. That could be happening, like it's very motivational. This also represents films. So there could be like a film or a documentary or a photo about war and it's in the news. Mental burnout or spiritual overload could be happening. You suddenly speak something you felt for lifetimes. You start a new creative or spiritual project. You're unsure of your thoughts, if they're real. Did you imagine it? Is it your intuition? But it moves you. You feel inspired. You need to ground yourself before committing to a vision. It could be Delulu energy or genius energy as well. What I see that could be happening for the collective, I could see some mass confusion. Neptune is very strong, and I think that is going to be written in the news or it's going to be something with social media. There could be this strong surge of artistic and creativity or compassion for people who are fighting, for people who are very brave. Potential for misinformation or inspired messaging. Let's see how that goes, but get ready for that. I just want you to know that Neptune is the planet of Delulu. Neptune is where you get all those conspiracy theories and secrets. Now it's in Aries and there's some bravery, but I do think there will be some secrets when it comes to war or fighting or conflict. If you're talking about the government, if you're talking about the collective, it could be personal too, like a secret fight that someone's having, or the Aries does represent birth, right? Like starting something new. So there could be something that someone's starting and they're keeping it a secret. And when that sun comes back around in Aries, we will see the light. Or when the sun hits these planets in different aspects around, then that brings light to the secrets of war and conflict. So that everything comes to the light. Okay, especially when the sun is sitting here. All right, so also to April 17th, we're in the middle of the month now. Mars is entering Leo. Before it enters Leo, it's going to be 29 degrees in Cancer. This 29 degrees in Cancer is when we had the fires in LA, because we have our MC in Cancer, and it's at 28 or 29 degrees in Los Angeles. I say we because I live in Los Angeles, and it was retrograding and now it's coming back. So let's see what it does. I just want you to understand that the PCH is still blocked. Okay. When you head up to Santa Monica, they have all those cones and you cannot go. So maybe that would be lifted because it causes some traffic. It drives me insane. I don't know the purpose of it. I'm sure there's some landslides, but we pay so much in taxes in LA. So they need to fix it. Anyway, but there's going to be an urgency of protecting your home. For me personally, I would say explain that Mars also represents the head, right? Because it's the ruler of the head, and it represents the roof. And for me, I am a Cancer. Where I sit directly every day is where we had a leak. It's a Cancer is a water sign, so we had a leak. I had to get the roof done, and we had to get all that said and done. So maybe it's already built and done, but maybe there'll be something finishing off with that. But it is completely done, and it made us feel uncomfortable with me for a week. I can't say that. But now it's going to enter, it's going to have a sense of urgency to close something out. Again, that's what I'm explaining with the 29 degrees. That was my long run of that. But Mars entering Leo. Now this is going to be strong. Now when Mars entered Leo, now the sun is in charge of Mars. Okay. So at first the moon was in charge. Now the sun is in charge. So the sun's in charge, and we got some issues with that sextile, square, trine, but now it's trining. So that's positive while it's in this energy, Aries, but then it'll go in here and then okay. Anyway, but Mars is also opposing once it enters Leo, it's going to oppose Pluto. We'll discuss that. That's very strong and very intense. Okay. But stepping straight into a cosmic showdown with that Mars entering Leo and that opposing Pluto, it gets very intense. There is transformation. It's called like the hero's flame. Okay, so there's bold passion, action. The ego is driven. It's being heart led. That Mars and Leo, it craves attention. Everyone look at me while Mars is in Leo, right? Leadership, celebrities, Hollywood, loyalty, even famous influencers or child celebrities. This also represents children too, and admiration. It's all about fighting for those things and protecting it. And when it's opposing Pluto, Pluto is the planet of secrets. Also too, so there's deep structures being dismantled or reborn. People are rebelling against the celebrities or against a leader, because that could represent that. So it's like my voice versus the system, my joy versus the machine, my true authenticity versus external domination. Okay, there is going to be some major power struggles once Mars enter Leo. Power struggles. Okay, especially when it comes to authority, especially when it comes to you personally, a boss. Yeah, anyone who's trying to control you, get ready for some problems. Okay, so this is some triggering some egos here. Yours, theirs, both. Boom. Battles of the wheels. Something forces you to stand up and step away. Creative intensity. Old wounds being too much, too loud, and not enough may surface. Also, too, this is something sexual. There could be some sexual tensions here. Transformation through fire. Ooh, makes me think again, because I live in LA. There could be some fire things happening. Let's see. Sometimes the element of fire is the physical element, and sometimes it is the metaphoric element, meaning like your drive and your passion. Letting go of toxic pride or stepping into your boldest truth. A lot of shadow work anytime you're dealing with Pluto and its opposition. I do think there's going to be some clashes with people who are rebelling or activists versus like influencers or leaders. Okay, ego-driven leadership with rebellion of the masses. So this could definitely be Trump saying all these people who are protesting. No, that could be a big thing that day. What else do we have? And it's not just that day; it can last for a good minute. Scandals involving pride, control, and sexual power. There could be a misuse of power happening here. This is a very power energy, explosive drama in celebrity culture. Cultural wars between individual expression and collective ideology. This could be something dealing with technology. Pluto is in Aquarius. Aquarius represents social media. So that's why it makes me think of a social influencer that could be happening. A call, or like Trump could be on TikTok causing some ruckus. A call for new leaders who lead with bold courage and consciousness. Yeah, that is what we have now. Mars alone, the planet Mars, okay, because it's entering Leo, and I jumped the gun and talked about this opposition. But Mars is the planet of action. It is the planet of motivation, anger, aggression, our sexual energy. It's our assertion. It's our willpower. It's your physical strength. It's the planet of war, so conflict and confrontation. It's also our passion and what we pursue, how we drive. You know, do you drive fast? Well, you're on Mars in Aries or Mars in Aquarius. It's also very competitive. It's our survival instinct, right? Now, when it's in Leo, Leo alone is about creativity. It's about our self-expression. It's about leadership. It's about authority, the kings and the queens, royalty. It's confidence. It's your ego. It's your pride. It's your dignity. It is the ruler of your heart. So things that are very heart meaningful. It's like you wear your heart in your sleeve. That's very Leo energy. It's also very dramatic. My daughter has a Mars in Leo. As I'm looking at her, very dramatic. Okay. But there is romance, there's loyalty, there's an inner child, there's joy, there's recognition, there's applause, there's passion, a lot of playing, because Leo likes to be like, come on, bring your childhood energy out, but very authentic, right? So when you have the two together, you could be fighting for what you love, you could be taking bold, unapologetic action in a public eye because you don't care about being on stage. All right. There's fears of creative drive, there's leadership stronger than ever. People are going to be more aggressive. Leo's also a fixed sign, so it doesn't want to change his mind. It doesn't want to change. It's very stubborn, especially when it's fighting. It's that lion that wants to protect its home. Protecting your identity and your people, pride fueled conflicts. Very charismatic, though. That Leo energy is very charismatic, very loving, very charming, that energy. And this is how you will achieve things and fight things for what you believe in. A lot of romance will be very heated, good and bad. Okay. Big moves with a big heart, right? Now, for you personally, you may feel a strong urge to be seen, to be recognized, like you're on stage. There's a huge confidence boost happening here. You want to get spicy when it comes to your romance. Maybe you're like, you know what, I want to have fun. You're visiting your inner child. That could be happening. You could be feeling more protective of your identity, of your family, of your pride, right? Because it's that lion energy or your legacy. There could be conflicts that may center around your ego, around your pride, or around your feeling like you're feeling disrespectful or you're too much on the stage. Everyone's like, I'm tired of seeing you. That could be happening. Okay. You could be finding yourself more passionate about causes and things that are that's touching your heart, and that's and you want to protect those things. A lot of leadership opportunities can be opening up while Mars is in Leo, and you could be more creative because Leo is very creative energy. Now, as a collective, right? A lot of cultural celebrity things is going to be happening, and prominent leaders, they will be more fighting with them or more things of them on a stage. Maybe some famous feuds could be happening, increased attention on entertainment. The Kardashians, I don't even know their things. I know Kim is a Libra, but anyone who's very famous, anyone who's dealing with I just think too, like protests when it comes to children, protests when it comes to your identity, protests when it comes to your self-expression. Yeah, very dramatic things could be happening too. People are dressing like, what do you have on, because they're fighting with drama and flair. Also too, we can have a heat wave when there's Mars and Leo. We always have a heat wave, so get ready for that. Also too, there's a bunch of fires that start around too, so get ready for that. Issues around loyalty, betrayal, and public trust. A rise in anyone who's powerful, just a rise in them. Media campaigns are very bold, colorful. That could be happening. There's a hunger for hope as well. Play, enjoy. People could be burnt out too, physically. Also too, this is a big thing with celebrities, not celebrities, athletes too. All the fire signs are a lot of athletes. Okay. Now, on the 19th, the sun is going to enter Taurus, okay? Sextile square trine. And it's going to trine our Mars. Is very, very positive. Trining at Mars. Anyway, the sun is about your life, your vitality, it's your identity, your ego. It highlights things, it brings clarity, it shines a light on things. It's very masculine energy. And so it's very extroverted and likes to do. It's a higher octave of Mars. Now, Taurus is also about stability. It's very grounded, earth, practical, not necessarily practical because it loves to enjoy its pleasures in life. Okay. It's very sensual. There's beauty, there's aesthetics. It's about your money. It's about your material security. Okay. Loyalty, slow growth, having patience, your self-worth, being possessive over your possessions. There's an attachment here. It's all about your food, your taste, your smell, your touch and comfort. Okay. Now, when you have the sun entering Taurus, these are the common things you have. You have grounded confidence. You're shining through simplicity. It likes the quality of things. Okay. You're moving slower. There's richer energy. Your body-based confidence is higher. You're focused on the finances. Okay. You want to go to the spa. You want to talk about self-care. Big issues with stocks. Those are the big things happening too. You may be feeling more grounded. You may upgrade your self-care routine. That skincare is always what I think about. There's a desire for comfort, also going outside and being around earth, or you want soft clothes, you want rich food, you want to take a nap. Your self-worth becomes non-negotiable. Okay, it's like, okay, you're devaluing me, I can't hang out with you anymore. Okay. Yeah, but your creativity becomes more like pottery, painting, interior designing, gardening. That is more it. You slow down to reassess your finances and long-term security. You crave consistency over chaos. You're about healing your body, and you probably are healing it through food. You could be more romantic because this is the energy of being loyal, steady, and there's sensuality really close to this. And you're attracted to abundance, and you value this. Okay. Yeah, collectively, there is something with the stocks that's going to be happening. Taurus represents the stocks. Global focus on food, farming, environmental, being sustainable environmentally. There could be some ups and downs when it comes to anything dealing with luxury. Also, increase awareness of body positivity and slowing down and resting. Anything that's traditional that could be coming out, like natural beauty, earth-based spirituality, the land, the farm. What you value is going to be bigger. Let me see what else. People may resist fast-paced technology. They want things that are slow. It's very slow energy. This in Virgo, very slow. Yeah, but a lot of conversations about your self-worth, a lot of conversations about the stocks and what you value and your emotional security. Yeah, so that is what we have. And now the sun here is going to sextile square trine. It's going to trine. Let me see. It has this here. Is it? Oh, I see. I did not talk about this. This is the T square here. Pluto, Mars, and this energy here is a T square. Why do I have this under the sun? When the sun enters Taurus, there will be a no sextile square. Oh, there is a square here. Sextile square trine. This is a trine. Anyway, but I do sextile square trine. What am I? I can't think anymore. This is a sextile. This is a square. This is a trine. Why can I think? Oh, this is a T square here. Yeah, so I am right. So the sun is having a T square between these two things. When the sun enters Taurus, when it comes to your identity and moving slow and all that stuff, then here come Pluto want to argue. Pluto wants to have some fights and cause some intensity and some aggression. You guys get ready for this. Once it enters Taurus season, there is going to be some conflicts. It could be some conflicts when it comes to stocks, something with Trump and leadership, and then there is a huge rebellion. Yes, it makes me think of like how Target is having its strikes or whatever. What is it called? Boycott. That could be happening. But there's something with the old financial system that could be changing as well. So and technology is probably like, no, we don't do this anymore. Stocks are not worth anything. Yes, economic unrest and disruptions, radical innovations meet resistance from tradition, because Aquarius doesn't like traditions, and these two are not getting along here. Power moves from the government and tech. Climate could be a thing here. Generational rebellion and values and monies and ownership. Yeah, I'm thinking there's going to be something leadership wise and some controlling, and something is stubborn, very stubborn energy is fixed. It doesn't want change, and it looks like there might be a change, a huge transformation happening, and it could be dealing with finances. Okay. Now, these two things are sextile, so that's positive. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, on the 20th of April, it's a lot of things happening, you guys, right? I talked about this. Sun is squaring Mars, and it's in this T square here. And now the moon's involved. So now we're emotionally involved. Also, too, the people are involved here. So I'm thinking this is going to be a huge rebellion around the middle of April. Let's see who is going to run the streets and cause a rebellion. But I do want you to know that this square here starts to happen at 1 degree. That's the Aries degree. That's also fighting, taking action, fighting spirit. I'm not giving oneself up to fate. There's a struggle. There's war. Yes. leadership or new beginnings. It could be something new beginnings. Yeah, but then there is stability versus the spotlight. There is patience versus performance. There's rooted peace and a warring pride. And on this side, we have our emotions versus technology and a future and the hopes and dreams and the people. There is intensity and transformation. Okay, so what could we be having? Clashes between conservative and bold leadership, something from the past. And I'm telling you, there's a change and it doesn't want to happen. I'm thinking it's going to be either with celebrities, an influencer, a leader. It could be Trump. Something is on stage. There's a lot of drama, and maybe this is on stage, just rebellion, and it's something for the people, or they're fighting for the people of some cause. Okay, yeah, look out for that. That is going to. I'm be sipping my tea for that one, you guys. Where's my water? You know what? We're in the middle of the month and I need a commercial because I need to take a water break. So you guys enjoy my sponsor. I'll be right back. Hello there, my beautiful souls. I am Danielle Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and astrologer. Are you ready to take your spiritual journey to the next level? Introducing Danielle's Astro Tarot Elite Club, your exclusive getaway to daily insights, cosmic guidance, and so much more for just $4.99 a month. As a member, you'll receive daily readings designed to align your day with the universe's. I turned it off because I finished drinking my water. But while you guys are sitting here, I need you to yeah, you guys like this video. If you guys were listening, that's what I was saying. Now, on the 21st of April, we have the sun is conjunct the north node. The sun, not the sun. Saturn is conjunct the north node at 26 degrees. This could be something about our values and what we value. Venus is, why do I have Venus on here? Oh, Venus is also there too. All these are conjunct. Oh my gosh. Like, let us be when it comes to our future. It's not. What are we destined to do, you guys? Are you guys figuring that out? Well, you're supposed to be figuring that out this whole time we're in April. Apparently, it won't let us chill, okay? Because now we are doing this at the beginning of April and we're still here. There is a seriousness and there is a burden of responsibilities, not a burden, but a responsibilities. There is lessons here happening, okay? And it involves Venus, which is about our grace, teams. It could be a woman. This could be a partnership. This could be a lover, relationship. Maybe it's something creative, right? All that is happening. And Saturn in Pisces is about boundaries with compassion. It's also about some boundaries that are not happening. Okay. Like when you're talking about Texas and people are getting past the borders, that is Saturn in Pisces. Okay. It's like you have a border, but the border is not working. That is Saturn in Pisces. Okay. Now, North Node in Pisces is our soul destiny, but then there's spirituality, there's healing, there's compassion, right? And also, remember, I told you forgiveness. So this is a spiritual calling and it gets real. There's past life contracts happening. Your faith is being tested. And are you going to pass the test? If you are, you will be learning a lesson, okay? You must create structure around your intuition, around your creativity, around your charity, around your compassion. Also, this is dreams being required dedication. So you have some hopes and dreams. Not necessarily hopes and dreams, but dreams, because hopes and dreams is more Aquarius. But you have some dreams, and now it's like, God sent you these dreams through your subconscious, and are you really putting in the work? Okay, yeah, and your soul work becomes visible. Old illusions dissolve. You're aligning with spiritual leadership. Okay, now I want you to be aware that all this stuff deals with addiction. Okay. This could be someone who's addicted and binge watching some secret things that they shouldn't be doing. Okay. And now your soul's purpose is involved in here. And you're like, look, now I'm going to set some limits because you have an addiction problem. Woman, partner, okay, or something dealing with law. I do want you to understand that this could be a rise of spiritual leaders, teachers, mystics, healers, something with healthcare, because that's also can be considered a healer when they're actually doing their job. Yes, all that could be happening here. Okay, now on the 23rd, but everyone learn your lesson by the 23rd. Okay, now on the 23rd, again, we have that sun. Now it's sitting here. It was sitting here at 3 degrees. That's a Gemini degree. So there's something with communication, gadgets, telephones, phones, cell phones, books, siblings, neighborhood, school. There's something here, and now it's squaring. So we still have this T square, but it becomes a little bit more direct on the 22nd, 23rd, right? And when you have this is control versus freedom, stability versus evolution, comfort versus crisis, a challenge to your identity, because that sun doesn't represent your identity. Again, power struggles. This is a power struggle. Get ready for that in the middle of April, right? A wake up call around your money. Shadows emerge around control, manipulation, and fear of change. A need to transform your relationship with safety and autonomy. Activating your personal power collectively. Again, power clashes, financial systems could be an issue, debate around AI and human value. Transformation could be happening with institutions. That could be happening. Tensions between self sufficient energy, this is self sufficient, and the community. That could be happening. Mass awakenings around what truly matters, values versus image. You guys, this is going to be a big doozy. I have way more notes on this, but I'm like, I can't just read all of it. But there is a huge transformation that's causing a conflict. Get ready for a lot of protests. We already seen it, but it's happening all in April. And while we're in April, Mars and Leo, that's conflict, okay? And Neptune's in Aries. I just want to know what's the secrets of the leadership of the war that's going to be happening, or this could be a spiritual war too. I do want you to know that this represents spirituality, which also could represent religion. Okay, we all know about Israel being a very religious country, and all the Muslim countries. I don't know them all. I don't mean to laugh, but it is 100% my ignorance. So all because Yemen is, I think, a Muslim country. So all the Muslim countries, and they're having this war here. Yeah, I need to look at America and see how that affects us. I will probably be doing that on my community. Anyway, also too, Venus is going to conjunct the North Node. It's been sitting there. I've discussed this. This happened the first time, April 1st. Now it's the second time because Venus is not retrograding anymore. Did I talk about Venus going direct? I don't think I talked about that. Hold up. Wait a minute. Let me see. This is what we have here, April 23rd. Venus goes direct. Did I talk about Venus going direct? Sun. I did not talk about Venus going direct. Let me tell you exactly when. That was not in my notes. Venus goes direct. Venus goes direct in Pisces April 12th. And what did my notes say? Did it say? Yeah, it did. I did. So I discussed it. Maybe I didn't. Did I? I don't know. Okay. But that's April 12th. And let me see, because it was under the moon, the full moon. The same day we have the full moon in Libra is when Venus goes direct. And I think I talked about this. Yeah, your relationships, creativity, and your self worth, all that would be serious. You'll be having unconditional love. You'll be able to forgive. You'll have some closure. There'll be some healing. Yes, and inner harmony when it comes to your spirituality. All that will be working for the common good. If I didn't discuss that already, but if I did, then there's some extra stuff there. Now, April 23rd. April 23rd, I talked about the Venus is conjunct the North Node. We talked about that. This again is happening again. And now it's like your harmony and your balance and relationships. First of all, you're getting rid of being critical and being so logical and really working on divine timing, and maybe having divine timing when it comes to your inner peace and relationships. Okay. Letting go of like, I have to be with the perfect man. That could be happening too. Now on the 24th of April, Venus is going to conjunct Saturn. They all been sitting here. Okay. And now it's at 27 degrees. So this could be something that could be happening on social media. Okay. Do you really love it? Then prove it, build it, protect it, and honor it. Again, do you really love it? Prove it, protect it, build it, honor it. That is that Saturn saying, like, if you love me, you better show me, okay? You better make it a reality, okay? That is what that's saying. Now, this conjunction is going to make love very serious. There's emotional boundaries. We're already being serious though, because Saturn is sitting next to Venus, is all being very serious about relationships. There's putting value on the relationships. Maybe you're more serious about that older man, okay? Because Saturn represents the older lovers. It could be an older woman. Yeah, but something even with karmic partnerships that could be happening. Money and maturity with money that could be happening. Beauty becomes sacred and is grounded and it's intentional. It's not just about aesthetics. It's like, no, let's put some seriousness on this beauty here. Love languages shift from fantasy to action-based devotion. This energy is slow love, timeless love, soulful love, and it's earned. Don't you love that? Okay. Yeah, so there's something about long-lasting beauty in art and creativity. There's also emotional maturity, maybe with dating or being serious about your partner, or like committing or being accountable when it comes to finances too, or even like a party that's very serious. Okay. I can't say that enough. Or having some boundaries with someone, and setting some boundaries with your partner or your business partner that wasn't quite there. Okay. Now, also too, oh, look at this energy. It's going to sextile Uranus. So there's something that's very surprising that's going to work really good. It's going to square Jupiter. Just because it squares Jupiter doesn't mean it's negative, but when this conjunction happens of being very serious and grounded, there could be the energy of optimism and overcommitting that could be happening too. Hello, we have what about Lilith going into Scorpio after leaving Libra? You know what? We will discuss that. I can discuss that in my weekly astrology. But Lilith going into Scorpio is some deep, intense energy, and it's going to bring some secrets. Okay. Leaving Libra, Libra is all about harmony. It's all about relationships. It's also very passive aggressive. Lilith is very like serious. Okay. I have a deck just on Lilith and the moon too. But I don't have it here. I usually have it here. Anyway, but yes, I can't say your name, Ancyon. We will talk about that. I'll talk about it in my weekly astrology, okay? For sure. Thank you for commenting and bringing that up. Okay, so also too on the 26th, and I don't have Lilith on here. No, I don't have Lilith on here. But on the 26th, and I also too like to discuss Lilith when we talk about, when I break down people's charts and break down predictions on people's charts. I bring that up a lot too, because I feel like Trump has something with Lilith. Someone, I don't know if it's Karen Bass. I think I did it with the inauguration too. Anyway, but on the 26th, we have Mercury post shadow phase. That ends. So now it's like everyone party, no more confusion. No, the emotional fog is lifted. Okay, people are talking. At the same time, there is going to be a trine, a fire trine of passion and moving forward with our leaders. So let's see how that works out. And at the same time, it's going to sextile Pluto. So this is positive energy when it's out of that post shadow phase. Communication, travel, all that's going to go back to normal. This is a great time to travel. You'll feel inspired. Okay. Public figures or artists deliver powerful or emotional charged messages. There's creativity. Again, something with leadership, could be something with social media as well, and creativity, big time happening. Or maybe there'll be like maybe something new could be happening that's changing with social media as well. Okay. But anytime you have the post shadow phase and it's ending, things are moving faster, things are moving direct. You'll be able to travel. The emails that you lost, you'll find it. All that will be more clear. You reviewed it, you rethought it, you repaid it, you replayed it, and now you can act on it. Okay. And the mental energy, there's more clarity, and everything's clear cut, and everything's urgent and necessary. And also too, because it's in Aries, there's vocal courage too that you have. Okay. Now on the 27th of on the 27th, oh wait, first let me see. Hold up, wait a minute. Let me put some boom in it. Hold up. Wait, hold on. I'm trying to see. Here we go. We have our Lilith here. I want to show this. Wait. What day is this? April. So Lilith, April 30th. Lilith is currently in Scorpio, and then it goes into Libra, actually, and it's in retrograde. So Lilith is in Scorpio, so it's already deep, and then it moves into Libra, so it's actually opposite. Just so you know, because I was thinking that. So it's actually opposite, and it moves into Libra April 30th, okay, which is around the time that I'm speaking, just so you know. Let me see. It will quincunx this energy here. Saturn, the planet of seriousness, it will do that. Let me see. Okay, anyway, just so you know. Okay, so April 27th, we'll go back to there. April 27th, I'm trying to see, it will be affecting this new moon here a little bit, actually, too. It will be affecting that. So if we go, okay, anyway, sorry. Back to my notes. Okay, so this new moon is April 27th, and it is going to be in Taurus. 7 degrees is a Libra degree. It's about fairness, law, business, partnerships, fashion, beauty, and charm. The Sabian symbol for the 7th degree in Libra, we look at 8 degrees, and it's a sleigh without snow. And this is basically sustainment. Okay, and let me see. The magic is believing. The symbol speaks. What is my note saying? To having faith that anything is possible and refusing to fall victim to the idea that everything is contingent. Okay, so this, I'm reading my notes back. Okay, so this Sabian symbol of this full moon new moon in Taurus is that, let's say you have a sleigh and it has no snow. It doesn't mean that it can't work. Okay, you need to think outside of the box. You need to have faith. You need to believe in magic, miracles, transcendence, even if it's a difficult time, and use your imagination. Be resourceful. That is what this is going to involve, right? Also, this new moon is still T-squaring this energy here, sextile square, and there's going to be some conflict with this new moon, even though new moons are very positive, but it's T-squaring at Pluto, which we talked about. It's T-squaring at Mars, which we talked about. So there's triggered of self-worth. There's clashes of the egos. There's desire versus control. Maybe there's an explosion of creativity and you're under pressure. That could be happening. Some issues with relationships. Power to the people. Again, the stock markets, I see them going down. Okay. This could be some celebrity, again, political drama, of course, because you're dealing with the egos, you're dealing with on stage energy, financial tensions with the market, protests or movements driven by pride, power, or justice. Okay. That could be happening as well. But anytime you have a new moon in Taurus, you're dealing with money, you're dealing with abundance, you're dealing with self-worth, you're dealing with your self-love, you're dealing with stability, sensuality, pleasures, your material security, financial loyalty, yes, and relaxation. All that is part of that new moon. Some rituals you could do is do some candle magic around money. You could do like a earth altar, do something with flowers, food, or soil, or coins, or you can write down things and says, and it starts with, I have some journal prompts. I usually always have journal prompts here. What am I trading peace for control? What does my ego want? And what does my soul need? How can I claim my worth without shrinking or diminishing? What fear do I need to confront to fully embody my value? Okay. Yes, but all those are things that you do during a full moon kind of energy. And let me see, actually, because hold up one more time. There is text messages happening. Okay, let me play this commercial. I'll be back in just literally 30 minutes. Hello there, my beautiful souls. I am Danielle Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and astrologer. Are you ready to take your spiritual journey to the next level? Introducing Danielle's Astro Tarot Elite Club, your exclusive getaway to daily insights, cosmic guidance, and so much more for just $4.99 a month. As a member, you'll receive daily readings designed to align your day with the universe's energy.
Start each day with clarity
and confidence. Do you need a personal reading, or do you want to have your astrology chart read fully? With being a member, you also can enjoy exclusive discounts on all my offerings just for our elite members only. All for just $4.99 a month. That's less than a cup of. Okay. Sorry about that, you guys. Anyway. Okay, back to my notes. Where was I? We were at April 27th. Okay, new moon in Taurus. So we're at the new moon in Taurus. I think I discussed everything. Okay, but also too, this new moon is opposing Lilith, which I'm glad that what's his name? What's her name or what's his name? I don't know how to say their name. Said, let me see. They brought up here, and I do want to say that which I should have grabbed my deck when I was just doing this text. Okay, anyway, but the moon and Lilith in Scorpio, it's very like feminine energy, okay? And it, you know, some people think it's negative because it could be like suppressed sexual energy, things that are very taboo, right? So a lot of people who have like strong Lilith energy, there's very taboo, almost like the girl with the scarlet letter kind of energy. They could be seductive, magnetic, rebellious. That energy is also added to this too. So I think there's going to be something very rebellious happening here. Yes, but this opposition is like a standoff. It's like you're soft but powerful kind of energy, or it's like the raw truth, or things that are very taboo could be coming to the light. Power dynamics when it comes to love, sex. It makes me think of like the Jeffrey Epstein or something with P. Diddy. We'll see how that plays out. Your shadow side may be saying something to you. It just makes me think of taboo. And then you're also talking about finances and money. Money is involved here, and something's going to go on stage. And it just 100% major. This new moon doesn't seem as positive, you guys. It's just a lot of conflicts. And the Lilith moon is something that's very taboo, but also could be very powerful. So let's see how this plays out. I'll connect this a little bit more because I have to think more on it. But what I'm getting now is that there could be like, because Scorpio is very intense, right? And then also Pluto is sitting there with intensity. And if the moon, Lilith moon is in Scorpio, I'm feeling that there's going to be something that's very taboo and secretive, okay? It could be dealing something with sexuality. Sure. Taurus wants security. That Lilith in Scorpio says it wants to devour it. It wants to change it. It wants to control it. Yeah. But there's something with secrets and the truth being revealed here. We'll see how that goes, especially with the new moon. And the new moon highlights things too, because it makes that moon brighter. So we'll see how that goes out. Anyway, but this opposition in Pluto, I don't know if I discussed that, but it hits very direct on the 29th. Wait, let's see. Closer, I have the 29th, but it's actually here around the 26th. I don't know if I talked about the opposition itself, but again, major power struggles. Okay, this is just major power struggles. Now our finances are involved and the people are involved. Yeah, but revolutionary protests, power struggles, could be something dealing with technology and social media. Again, the Black Lilith is sitting here, which I'm glad someone brought that up because it's causing this conflict as well. Okay, major financial breakthroughs. Scorpio and Taurus represents money and finances, and then also too, it's all fixed. All fixed energy. Something is going to change and no one wants to change it. So it makes me think that there'll be some financial system shakeups. Okay. Let's see what happens there. It's giving me Tower card. It's giving me a breakdown, and people are living on a false structure and they shouldn't depend on it. Okay. Now, April 30th, then we end the month, and I'm going to do some tarot cards to close this off. But we end the month with Venus entering Aries. Okay. And where's our Venus? Venus has entered the building. It's going to conjunct Neptune once it enters that. So it could be a lot of loss and confusion when it comes to relationships. But again, Aries, I told you about Venus themes are about relationships and your balance, right? So you could be bold in love. You could be wanting some independent relationships. You could be impulsive with your spending because Aries moves fast, okay? But there's fierce beauty. People are more edgy. They're like very courageous when it comes to their aesthetics and their art. Flirtatious at a sport, and sport being flirting is a sport. Let's see if that comes up. But something with relationships and athletes, that could be a big thing. Competitive desires. Aries gets really bored easily, so it's like you want this relationship, it happens fast, and now you're bored. So that could be happening. Yeah, but also brave with creativity. I don't know if I said that. Self-worth with conquest, that could be happening. You may fall in love with someone too fast. You may be losing a lot of money fast. There could be jealousy and possessiveness that may flare up. A lot of arguments within a relationship because Aries represents that conflict. Struggling to find balance between love and independence, that also could be happening too. Again, I do think celebrity breakups will see someone who's like, you know what? I want to be on my own. That could be happening. Again, something with finances, something new starting up, and it's a conflict there. And then public call out. Someone's off balance. Again, something, whenever Venus is involved, we get new court cases. So let's see who's in the court. It could be still dealing with Blake Lively. That is what we have. And yeah, globally, there could be something with the body image here, something new there. I'm hoping it's not going to be people getting new facelifts or something like that. Anyway, but when you have Neptune involved here, you have sudden attractions. It's very romantic. Everyone's looking at someone with a rose-colored lens. You can't really see the relationship clear. There is fogginess when it comes to relationship. Okay, I saw you in a dream, and you're perfectly who I imagine. It makes me think of a book that I read. It was called Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. That is like very much Venus conjunct Neptune if you read that book. Anyway, but Venus also too, when it enters Aries, is going to sextile Pluto. So that's going to work, right? There's intensity here, but it's working with balancing your emotions, not your emotions, your harmony. Then also too, sextile square. No, sextile square trine. It's going to trine Mars, which is in the same element. I don't know why I did that. But there's passion and there's pleasure here. So that works out really good. A lot of romance here. Romance and having fun. I see that happening. Also be careful of the delulu within relationships. That could be happening. But for the most part, it seems very positive. Let me pull some cards for us as I close this out. Thank you guys for watching and staying and watching all this. Let's see what we have for April. For April, what do we have for the collective? We have curiosity of fire. People are going to start to be very intrigued when it comes to their passion, when it comes to their desires, when it comes to being the first. There's going to be new inspiration and learning about being an entrepreneur, being a leader, being a warrior. You're going to have that energy, especially all these planets entering Aries. So there's new beginnings of the self. Also, when you have a curiosity of fire, right? This is the page of fire. It's taking your time with the earth energy. With the fire energy. So you're not moving fast, even though it wants to move fast, but you're taking your patience with things that are really firing up, that's motivating you, that's inspiring you. Also, there could be some message coming your way that's very inspirational, that's very driven. Yes, but it's very driven forward, motivational, maybe even working out too, because there's a spark there. Also too, we have some air energy. So we're going to get some clarity on things. People are going to be telling the truth. Yeah, clarity and truth and serious messages. Also to abundance when it comes to money. So there's things with money here that are going to happen. And the 10 of Earth is I feel like we're going to get the truth when it comes to our resources, when it comes to finances, when it comes to health, and also to everyone's going to start being very inspirational and have this spark for individuality and passion and desire. All right. That is what we have. I hope that made sense. You guys, I'm going to break all this down weekly. We'll get more tea of everything. I will break it all down for you. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.
Bye bye.